There are billions of dollars in unclaimed state funds, and I'm going to show you how you can profit from this. Well, first of all, before we go into data, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed to my channel, click the link below, click the notification link, and I'll see you in the video. Forbes magazine estimated that there is $49 billion of unclaimed funds. I'm going to say that one more time. Forbes magazine, $49 billion across the United States in unclaimed state funds. 1 out of every 10 people is believed to have unclaimed funds. It is believed that Texas has 7 billion and that California has 10 billion and New York is somewhere between those two numbers. So let's first of all talk about unclaimed property and how it could benefit you or how it might benefit you one way or the other. So first of all is you want to look at the state you're currently living in, and you just want to go and, like, if I'm in California and I just hit California unclaimed funds, it takes me right to the page and you can do a name search. Same thing with New York, Texas, Alabama, whatever state you live in, do a name search in that state and just go in and check and see if there's any funds there. Secondly, if you've lived in another state and you've moved, so maybe you lived in California and now you live in Nevada, or you lived in California and now you live in Texas, check the state that you previously lived in and see if you have any unclaimed funds. And I know with California, they go by county. So I've often have searched my name in the whole state and then in counties that I've lived in. I have found small unclaimed funds that I've had in the state just by doing that, and I've gotten paid out on those. If you have a business, check the business name in the state where the business is registered and states that the state has done business in. So check those states as well with the business. Now here's where I have profited a lot in this business, and people do not even think about this, but deceased relatives might have unclaimed funds. So it wouldn't hurt to go through and check parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, other people that are no longer here, and check addresses. I've looked, so one of our staff members the other day, Dylan, he's on the surplus fund team. Him and I were talking about unclaimed state funds, and I just said, I wonder if I do, and this guy lives in Florida, I go, I wonder if I do California Hepner. His aunt came right up as having unclaimed funds in the state of California with my first search just by hitting his last name in the unclaimed state funds. Look at relatives that you have, and even look at live relatives too. That doesn't necessarily need to be deceased relatives, but look at relatives that you may have. Now, I always talk about making a business on this and how to make a business. And you should be making 6 figures a year. I am making between 10 to 15,000 a month right now in state unclaimed funds, and I'm putting in less than an hour a day. Now, I do have a staff that works with me, and they're absolutely great. The first thing you want to do is you want to find your market. And there's states that you could look into. So if you want to look in California, Texas, Nevada, most of those states, if not all of them, have a section in there where it says locators, air finders, whatever it's called that they have. Most of them will say like state locators, state funds locators, something to that degree. Find out the rules and regulations for the state. Some states have it like California where they have the contracts ready to use and you can go and just be paid out directly. Other states have it where you have to bring in your own contracts, work out the deal with the client. Other states have it where you still have to work it out with the client, but they have to approve the contracts that you have, and you still have to be registered with them. And it's always good to be registered with the state and follow their protocols, because I've had people call and verify my corporation with the state of California. And the other day, one of the coolest stories I have in unclaimed funds, and it's almost like when I was property selling with unclaimed funds, it's the same thing. I got a call on my cell phone about 3 weeks ago. And the guy asked me, and I usually don't pick up on strange numbers. I happen to be in a place, I thought I'll pick this up, see who it is. And the guy asked, he goes, "Are you David Church?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And the guy was a licensed private investigator. I had contacted someone about unclaimed funds. The guy didn't believe me, so he went ahead and called a private investigator, had me investigated, and the investigator said, "I can't find any dirt on you. You seem to be legit. I'm advising him to sign. I just want to make sure you're the real deal. You're registered with the state." This guy did a full background check, told me a lot of information about myself. It was kind of freaky, and that was awesome, and that happened. You will have a ton of stories like this with every single claim. You're going to have a cool story to tell with it and how you connect with your client. So you're gonna register with your state. You're going to get your list. You're going to skip trace your leads, and you're going to make contact. Now, I always say that consistency will lead to excellence, and let me explain that. Okay, I see people that are successful in this business, and when I say that, I can name off half a dozen people on the top of my head right now that are making six figures in the last year on this are brand new. I can name off a lot more than that if I pull up my list, but people that I'm thinking of, okay? Continuity in the business will lead to yeses. And I always say, if you're gonna start this business, this is a huge golden nugget, start off small. Start off working a claim where you're gonna make next to nothing. So think if you went to go work for a financial institution, you walk in, you've never worked for one before, and you fill out a job application and they give you the CEO of the company and you have no experience, you don't have a college degree, you've never worked anywhere before. What is the likelihood of that happening? Probably not. I had a young man, I've talked about this story before, it was a tax overage. He got a $30,000 claim, it was just north of that. The notary did not do a signature correctly, and he was going to get $10,000 commission, just under that. He was getting 30%, and I told him to go small. Guy was super excited about this. I was excited for him. The part where he signed for, the client signed for the notary didn't have the client sign it. Stamped it and everything, had the book signed, but did not actually sign the contract. When you send these forms into the state, or in this case it was a tax overage, they look for reasons on not to pay you. They're going to say, what can we do not to pay this person? So of course they kicked the contract back to him because it didn't have a signature on it. And the guy never got back in touch with this client, and he never got the signature, and that was $10,000. Now, the notary should have errors in omission. I told him to go after the notary. I don't think he did. I mean, he really should have gone after the notary. Never did, but let's go back into this. Top executive working for a company. You've got to learn from the bottom up. If you do like a $500 claim, you're gonna make next to nothing, but you're gonna learn how to get somebody paid, you're gonna learn the process, you're gonna learn how to work it, and that's what you wanna do. You wanna start off small, and that way if you make a mistake, you forget a signature, the notary screws something up, it's $500. It's next to nothing. Then when you start making the money and you start getting it in consistently, and now you have experience. The best thing to do here is back up a step further, and if you have a family member in the state that you're gonna work that has funds, even if it's 30, 40 bucks, get them paid and get a real small commission, get them paid, kind of work for free, find out the protocol, learn how to do it, and then work your business up from there. And then you start off small, then you start working the larger deals, do 2 or 3 small ones, learn how to get paid, learn the paperwork, learn the process, how to talk to everyone, and then start working the larger ones, work it where you're gonna make. I used to get paid $800 per deal, and I would do 5 of those a month, or target 5 a month, where I'd be making about $4 grand a month just by targeting 800 a month. And then as I've done more of these, you promote yourself and you get raises and you keep on going up higher and higher. So these are ways that ideas that you can have that you could be working there. So you find your market, you get your list, you're starting off small, you're making contact, you get it under contract, and you're gonna collect. Once you do that, you repeat the process, you repeat it again, you repeat it again. And then if you're at the point where you can put money back in your business, maybe eventually hire a VA. That helps me out a lot because I have a VA that does my leads, and then I'm calling them up and it's a warm lead because they've already said yes, and it's awesome. So in this system, if you do what I say, you can easily start an unclaimed business, not only in state funds like the Forbes magazine article had here, but you can do this in tax overages, mortgage overages, bankruptcy. I mean, there's so many different markets out there that you can work, and this is a really lucrative business if you work it correctly. Hey everyone, I want to thank you again for watching. If you like this video, give me a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, click the notification link, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.